Hey guys, welcome back to the second episode of Creature Feature, where we will look at the history, legend, and mythology of different creatures from around the world. And today we're going to be looking at Krampus. If you're not familiar with Krampus, or some people like to say Krampus, Krampus, tomato, whatever you want to say, I like to say Krampus. He's kind of like the evil twin to Saint Nicholas. He has horns, black hair, he has hooves for feet, he carries these bells and chains, and he whips little children and brings them back to his hellish lair. From the research that I've been doing, it looks like Krampus originated in Germany many years ago. In Germany, instead of saying Krampus, they use the word Krampen, which means claw. In the German folklore, Krampus was created as kind of a counterpart to Saint Nicholas. So, kids that were good were rewarded by Saint Nicholas, where kids that were bad were whipped by Krampus and dragged into the underworld. So according to German folklore, Krampus would show up the night before December 6th, which was known as Krampusnacht or Krampus Night. Now December 6th also happens to be Nikolaustag or Saint Nicholas Day. So legend says German children would put their boot outside of their doorsteps, and in the morning they would either wake to a present in their boot if they were good, or a rod in their boot if they were bad. During my research on Krampus, I wanted to look up any type of stories or sightings of the creature. I found one that is quite spooky. So a family that lives in Massachusetts claims that they have seen not only Krampus, but the evil gnome that accompanies him. The family that makes these claims is German in descent, so knows very well of the legend of Krampus. Their story says that one day, the children were playing with the Ouija board. While playing with the Ouija board, they asked who they were speaking to, and it spelled out Krampus. Now, they continued to play with the Ouija board, and the Ouija board told them that they were going to be visited by Krampus's elf or gnome named Limey. A few days later, one of the daughters started claiming to see Limey around the house. She would see a short, shadowy figure darting from room to room. She said that the figure was short, had scrawny legs, had a pointed hat, and had blisters all over its face and was incredibly disturbing to look at. One night, the daughter started hearing something from underneath the bed. When she looked under, the elf poked her eye out. It started bleeding profusely and she started screaming for her mother. When her mother came into the room, she saw her daughter bleeding from her eye. But when she removed the object, it was like nothing had ever happened. Her eye was completely fine. There was no blood, nothing. So now the first sighting of Krampus from that family comes from the two boys. They kept hearing a knocking on their closet door. It kept getting louder and louder, so the boys finally got up to investigate to see what the noise was. When they opened the closet door, they saw a pair of red glowing eyes that shot out of the closet right through them. The next sighting of Krampus comes from the daughter. She claims that a horned figure with red eyes held her down and slapped her multiple times across the face. Later, the daughter was hospitalized because of the psychological damage from this incident. Because the family was so stressed out from this incident, they decided to go to Florida for a vacation to get away from everything. When they returned, their house had been burnt down. There was nothing left of it. And since then, the activity has stopped. Now, if you haven't seen a picture of Krampus before, I'll put one right here. He is scary, to say the least. I mean, he's this horned figure. It looks like half demon, half goat. Something disgusting. So, what do you think? Do you believe the legends and stories of Krampus, or do you think they're made up? What about the family that claims to have seen Krampus? Do you think they actually saw him? I'm always open to it. I think maybe there's some truth to it. If you have a creature that you want featured next on Creature Feature, let me know in the comments below. If you haven't already, subscribe, and we'll see you guys later. Bye. Kristen believes that her house is haunted, but she's not the only one in her family that believes this. Her little sister once told her that in the basement, she felt somebody tug on the back of her shirt.